Working two jobs back to back. And for myself, all I knew at one point was just dance. I was a professional educator and dancer for over 15 plus years. I went and taught in the K through 12 schools. I was a professor at UC Santa Barbara at one point, and that's all I did. I just had a dream of wanting to just dance. I don't know about a lot of you guys, but when I saw Honey, Save the Last Dance, Stomp the Yard, I was like, yo, that's me. I could be that person, and I'm gonna go ahead and definitely just be that one. And I decided that's why I went to school. I decided the only way I can get through high school was because I was a part of a dance group. And that's what led me to continue to keep going forward. But I also was, experiencing what many people experiencing, right? The humble beginnings of every single family. My family came from addiction, homelessness. We've experienced so many different things. And when I got out of high school, I decided to go to college because I realized when I was a part of the professional company that I was a part of, they were like, hey, you can only be with us if you're in school. So I was like, I'm only going to go to school so I could be a part of this company. And because I get to dance and I get to make a living and travel. So I did that, went ahead and went to community college, ended up going to UCLA. By the grace of God, I got in with 3.0 as a transfer student just because of my dance. And I say that because my dance was able to really express myself vocally, externally, but internally, I didn't really know who I was. Because again, I felt myself at a conflict. I was, doing a lot of negative things at one point with my life, while also being an educator. And I just felt myself that I needed to make a decision. And the decision was to go full time with my dance. I had the opportunities to travel, as I mentioned, and I received a lot of accolades very early on in my success around 21, 22. And, now being 29 years young, being an educator, doing a lot of the things that I'm doing now, I lost it all during the pandemic. I had received one of the biggest positions of my life, which was to be a professor in China for over 2 years. And I was super excited. I was literally heading there the week I was heading there. That Thursday, I was supposed to fly out. Wednesday, we got the cancellation that the pandemic hit. And I don't know if any of you guys were affected by the pandemic. Drop a 3 in the chat if you guys, were, affected by the pandemic, something that happened during that time, right? Majority of us are, whether you lost work, whether you may have gotten sick, you may have lost family members, and my condolences to anybody who lost family members. Like, we experienced something during that time. Well, me being a professional dancer, I lost it all. My physical tool is the one that gets me paid. And unfortunately, I couldn't do anything anymore. And at that time, I met my son's mother, which I was very blessed to have met, because I feel like at one point she kept me just kind of sound. She got me into reading and journaling, and I found out that we were going to have a child very early on in the pandemic. And I was like, I need to do something very quick now. Like, my back is against the wall. I'm about to have my child. What am I supposed to do? No job is hiring me. I tried to work at Sprouts. They're ungrateful. They're not wanting to pay me for my time. What am I going to do? And that's where I stumbled across Digital Dynasty. And Digital Dynasty was ultimately just a group of individuals helping people learn how to invest in the financial markets, becoming better within social media and the worlds of digital entrepreneurship, and having more time, and just simply being able to help people gain an extra stream of income. And that's what I truly got into this for, was learning how to trade, learning how to invest, learning how to, just really get forward for me and my family. And now, 3.5 years later, being a part of this space, it's not because I'm still here because of income anymore. It's truly because of a community, that people that love and support me. We're doing this workshop because we're here to provide people with value, because we realize what this community has done for myself. Now, being a full-time trader, full-time with my son, a serial crypto investor, traveled the world, spoken in different stages for this space. I'm super grateful to be here with you all. And our goal is to impact the lives of hundreds of of thousands of people who want to be able to gain more time, more financial and education freedom, and really wanting to take yourselves to that next level. So if you are ready, drop a ready in the chat. I'm super excited for every single one of you guys. Definitely let's definitely take notes. We have 30 people on the call, so I'm super excited because this 30 is ultimately going to turn to 100 to 200, and we're really going to take ourselves to that next level. All right. So let's get into it. Crypto security, right? We're going to start moving and taking ourselves to that next level. So what is crypto, right? We need to first understand what's going on in the world right now, right? So we know out of nowhere, people have been talking about crypto. And as much as and I say out of nowhere because really it's still a new thing, right? Yes, although crypto has been around since 2009, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, you need to understand that these things that are expressed on the news are only helping you to fail more. I'll say that again. The news is only helping you fail more. Why do I say that? Is because majority of the people who are expressing what's going on in crypto do not have the information or education that they actually need to be able to help people benefit from crypto. That can be a thing that is super important to understand. It's because everyone's going to tell you, you're going to hear individuals like Joe Kramer, all these people, and they're going to tell you when to do something. And ultimately, again, because we've been in this space for quite some time, you yourself know how to get in the opposite version of that. Because if Joe Kramer is going to say buy at the top, well, or crypto's going to go to the top, majority of the time it's going to sell. Or, oh, crypto's dead, crypto's really alive. And that's what news ultimately creates, right? It's the excuse that is trying to do things, right? And so you really need to understand that education is critical, and that's what myself and Jesus Gil, we decided to come up with and think of on how we could be of service to you guys every single Saturday. Because something we experienced we'll talk about this again a little bit more in depth, was over the last few weeks, because of crypto's boom that's taking place in Q1 of 2024, we realized that a lot of individuals were on centralized platforms, not just within our community, but with amongst many people. A lot, like between him and I, we got so many messages on people that were literally like struggling to figure out what happened to their crypto. All of a sudden their crypto's unable to, they're unable to buy, they're unable to send, it's at zero. What's going on? And we realized that, okay, how can we help people with this, with what it is that we got going on here? And the first thing is obviously education. That's the first thing that we can help people out with, right? So what is crypto? Let's get into this, right? Crypto is a virtual currency that uses cryptography for security. It operates on decentralized technology called the blockchain. Traditional currencies operate with banks. So you need to understand, right? As a bank, right? Traditional currencies operate on banks, but they also participate in the financial markets. Same with crypto. Crypto participates in their own financial markets that's paired to the dollar. So for example, you yourself might be an individual that travels time and time again. Let's drop some states or countries that somebody wants to travel to, right? Like let's just drop a country that somebody wants to travel to. Well, you yourself, right? Anybody drop a country. Who wants to go? Thailand, right? Thailand. Everyone wants to go to Thailand. I'm seeing it. All right, cool. Hawaii, Switzerland. Yes. So let's use the Swiss franc, for example, right? Again, traditional currencies are operating with banks. That means in order for you to go to Switzerland, right, you have to exchange your dollar for that currency. And for example, if people from Switzerland come to the United States, they have to exchange their Swiss franc for the dollar. That's the same thing that can be done with crypto, but that is all being done what? On the web. That is being all done what? Online. And also the beautiful thing about traditional currencies is, again, most of those things operate on centralized platforms. We'll talk about that a little bit. Crypto operates on decentralized platforms. Decentralized platforms are ultimately peer-to-peer, meaning you don't have to have a third party to be able to interact with your actual currency. So for example, if I needed to send something to Miranda from my bank, I would need to go through either Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whatever it may be, and they're ultimately going to do what? They're going to track my funds, but also they're also going to take a transaction fee, which is why Zelle came around, because Zelle is trying to do something where people don't have to actually do what? They don't have to, you don't have to actually receive a fee from it, which is why people don't like Zelle. A lot of companies do not like Zelle if do your research on it. But what we're trying to understand is if something happened for myself and I needed to send something to Miranda or she needed to send something to myself and we were participating in the crypto world, she could send it to me no problem and I'd be able to have those funds. Fun fact is the war between Russia and Ukraine. How was Ukraine, after all of their assets were seized, how were they able to actually fund their war? It was actually through Ethereum. Good. I saw my brother Q right here dropping in the chat. It was actually through Ethereum. So that means you have people in foreign countries or primarily in the United States sending funds through Ethereum's network so that they can fund their war. You see, majority of these people don't understand that. So you need to understand only 22% of the world really own any source of any sort of Bitcoin. That means you can own like a small fraction of it. And the goal ultimately from what our educators really speak about is that we need to be able to hold more Bitcoin because Bitcoin ultimately is like the safe haven because there will only ever be 21 million of Bitcoin. So let's talk about that, for example, the power of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is a decentralized currency, right? It was introduced in 2009 by an unknown person. We like to say Satoshi Nakamoto, but who knows, right? And Bitcoin operates on a peer-to-peer network, as I've stated, and it allows you to send and receive payments without the need of what? A third party, such as a bank. So we need to understand what's going to be taking place for you right now. Do you want to be part of the banking system where actually this past week we just saw another bank collapse? These things are constantly taking place time and time again. I had an individual this past week literally tell me, I'd rather have a check. I'd rather know that my money's always going to come through my bank. But they don't realize that the banks don't have a reserve behind their actual their actual banking system anymore. They used to have, before the pandemic, it used to be what, 10%. Now they don't even have anything up to maybe I think like 0.01% of their actual money sitting inside banks. And if that actually takes place, if that bank were to go bankrupt or if they were to collapse, that means majority of the people would lose their funds because they're not like the major banks such as what was it? Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was a major investing bank corporation. These smaller bank entities, unfortunately, if they have no reserve, when they go bankrupt, you're not getting your money back. Why? Because you signed a little contract that states that whatever goes on in fine print, they're not in control of what goes on. You ever realize that whenever someone takes money from your bank account, your credit card, your debit card, if they what is it? They take what's the word that I'm using? If they simply steal your assets, right? And they steal something from your bank account, why does it always take the bank anywhere between 3 to 6 months in order to get your money back? And they're the ones that do that. But when it comes to crypto, when it comes to me having access to my information, yeah, dispute. Thank you, Brandon. So in order for me to be able to have access for my crypto, the best part about it is that no one's going to have access to it. And that's why we're here today, is to make sure that you understand the security aspect. And I want to go ahead and bring on this next individual because we're going to be bouncing back and forth. But this next individual that I'm going to bring up, again, is a powerhouse in this space. He's impacted the lives of hundreds and thousands of people. And, he's truly a brother of mine, my business partner. And we really felt that we needed to help people understand what's going on in this space of crypto by simply just giving you some education today, because we have a whole series that's going to take place over the next few weeks. And we wanted to start with security, just giving you a little bit of what crypto is. But he's going to be talking about some major things that's going to really understand and really kind of like give you some insight on what's going on. But this person that I'm excited to introduce right now is just he's a major asset to my life too. And I'm so grateful that I get to run it up with you. Gil, I give it over to you, bro, so that we can go ahead and bounce back and forth. But go ahead and take over so you can, drop some gems for the people.
Sir, yes, sir. Guys, put some ones in the chat for my boy Alex, because honestly, the value that he provides is incredible. We've been able to run multiple calls. He's been able to be a guest on many calls that I've been able to run. And the coolest thing is being around people like Alex that not just have a passion, but have seen the ups, have seen the downs, have learned from the mistakes. So I really, really appreciate you, Alex. Obviously, this is something that we're going to be doing, on Saturdays. And I'm really excited because we're living in a time where this information, 6 months ago, a year ago, could 100% be added and applied. But today, people are not ready to apply it because they see the numbers, they see what's going on. And I think sometimes that's what it takes. My first run, the crazy thing is I started in this space of entrepreneurship and online skill sets and Digital Dynasty in 2020. And 2021 was the first time I was actually in crypto. And I didn't even get into crypto until I saw, things like Ethereum go from 600 to 1200. You know, and there's some people that maybe during that time got a stimulus check. Like put a 5 in the chat in 2021 if you got a stimulus check, right? Or 2022, depending on the time, or 2020, right? But during that time, I got a stimulus check, and a lot of people spent that money in, you know, groceries and in debt, which makes sense, or went out with it, right? And for me, I was already studying crypto for 6 months, not having any capital. And instead of me doing that, guys, I actually bought Ethereum at 1200. Buy Ethereum at 1200, and then at the end of the wave, you guys can, you know, look at that, where that went to. But the powerful thing, and the reason why we're doing calls like this, is the fact of being able to be prepared for what's coming, right? Because it's bigger than just coming in and seeing profits in crypto. It's understanding securities, understanding how to take actions, understanding how to protect yourself. Because this space obviously is new, and that's a upside, right, for the potential, but it also could be a downside if you're not really understanding how to navigate. And obviously, that's why we have the amazing educational platform that we have. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the end, but also calls like this, that it's just a plus to be able to equip you guys to that next level. So what I want to break down, all right, because, you know, it's crazy, because this has been something that's been around since 2008 when it comes to crypto in general. But this is a really kind of like a chart of understanding of how these markets even move. Right, because I grew up, you know, I played soccer my whole life, and I went to, you know, school for finance, and I was always a numbers guy. But the craziest thing is that I was never really shown any of this. I never really had an understanding that there was ups and there was downs in the markets. I really thought that it was only ups, honestly. If you invested, it could go up, and that's about it. But the reality is that there's ups and there's downs. And when you have an understanding of these cycles, and if you can see this chart on the right, sorry, you know, put a 2 in the chat, you can see this chart on the right. Because this chart on the right is showing you, it's crazy, because this is not even a crypto cycle like chart. This is a Wall Street cheat sheet, guys. This is a stocks chart that shows the emotions that happen in this market. Because you got to realize this, and this is very, very key for you guys to understand. The markets are moved by people, right? Maybe the top individuals are obviously really moving it, right? But regardless, it's people. And you got to realize, and you got to understand, that people are emotional. Like put a 3 in the chat, you can agree that people are emotional. There's emotion in human beings. So that translates to the markets having the same emotions. So this chart kind of breaks that down, guys. And it really shows what things are going on. And it's crazy, because I saw my first run 2021 going to 2022. And then I saw my first down run, my first bear market from 2022 to 2023, you know, easing into 2024, now that we're really on an upside. And I was able to see these emotions. And you might look at this chart and maybe you can relate to this. Maybe in 2023, 2022, you were angry, you were depressed, things were down, FTX went down, like what's going on? Or maybe you're at a moment now where you have hope. Maybe you're feeling a little bit optimistic. Now you're like, oh my God, I need to learn about this information. I didn't want to 6 months ago, but now I need to. And that's exactly what just happens over and over again. On the left-hand side, guys, you guys can see that in 2015 to 2017, we saw the market go 790% gain. We saw the market really go really bullish for the really first time in since 2008, around that time, 2012. And then, guys, same things happened in 2018 to 2022. Right, I wanted to show the upside. Obviously, there is a big downside with this, but at the same time, is understanding when you're ready for the opportunity, that's when you can see the growth. A lot of people want to get the growth on the bear market. And the reality, you can't change things. Things are going to happen. You just got to run with the trend. You got to run with what's going on with really the world that we're living with today. And guys, now from 2023 to now, which is crazy because that's only like a year, there's a couple more years left in the bull run. We're already at 370% gain, guys. We were able to see Bitcoin at around 16, 17K, now hitting 70,000. And the craziest thing is this, and I want you guys to write this down if you're taking notes. The money that's coming into the market, guys, is not even retail. What moved the market from like 28, 30 to 70, 68, 66 is not even retail. It's institution money, because ETFs, guys, just got approved January 10th. What does that mean? That means the big players, guys, that have millions and billions of dollars that don't want to learn this information because they just don't want to. Now they can just go through institutions. They can just go buy an ETF and not have to go and buy crypto. And they don't own it. They know that. But they're able to have exposure in the market, and more money can flood into this space, guys. I want you guys to also, we didn't have it on here, but after this call, if you want, I would highly encourage you to go look at what happened with gold when the first ETF was approved. and what that really did for the marketplace. And we really believe that that's actually happening now, because this happening, something we can break down a little bit, but something called the happening, guys, is coming very soon. And every 4 years, that's really sparks the new market. And it's crazy because all-time highs have been hit before the happening. So honestly, what's coming after the happening is something that we don't even know. But one thing that we can understand, that this is just a start, because we're living in a very different space now, guys. In 2022, 2021, it wasn't institution money, it was retail money. And now things have kind of changed the game. So what I want to give you guys, I'm going to talk about hot wallets. I was talking about cold wallets. But what I want to give you guys first is, okay, I get this, Gil. I understand. Okay, how can I navigate myself in this space? And you guys have to really understand the two different wallets that you can have here. Number one is something called a hot wallet, right? Because it's very crazy to understand the importance, like Alex was breaking down amazingly, was decentralized and centralized wallets. Guys, when you buy crypto, okay, you're going to have to buy it through a bigger exchange, right? You're going to have to buy it either through Kraken, right? Or crypto.com, or even you have to, maybe you can buy it through Coinbase. But one thing I would highly advise is not keeping your crypto in those exchanges. Okay, 100%. And the reason why do we say that? Because when you buy through an exchange, it's like having money in the bank. Literally what just Alex broke down of the banks collapsing, guys, that's like the same thing that can happen in these centralized exchanges. Because guys, there's been exchanges like FTX, like Celsius, that actually already went down. But again, that's not crypto's fault. Sometimes people want to blame crypto, but it's not crypto's fault. It's the understanding that centralized exchanges are like the banks. They're owned by big entities, right? But when you go off of exchange, guys, when you actually can hold the asset, it's not physical, but the digital version, you have a hot wallet. But this is something that, why do we call it hot? Because it's quick to get in and out, right? Something that's easy to get in and out of. It's a little bit more secure, but not the most securest. That's going to be the cold wallet. But here are a couple of things that you guys can use. We have crypto.com. We actually have a hot wallet that you can use there. We have MetaMask. MetaMask is what you can use for Ethereum, guys. Being able to send your ETH, send your any ETH project, Ethereum project to MetaMask. Now that's something out of the exchange. It's really basically in the ecosystem, and you're able to transition through it, right? Then number three, we have something called a trust wallet where you're able to go in, use that as well. It's like an app that you're able to go into and send your crypto to. We have something even called Electrum. There's some things that even Alex and myself are researching. This is something that we found be one of the best Bitcoin wallets. And this is a place where you can actually just send your Bitcoin and they can actually hold your wallet, and being able to use it for more of a transactional way. And also there's one that's really cool that we found. It's called Blue Wallet. So the biggest thing that comes out of this, guys, is also doing your own research. But we want to give you guys some things that you guys can use, like MetaMask, right? Being able to use different things to navigate in this space. And it's important to understand that, but also know that when you go to the hot wallet, it's in your hands, okay? They give you something called basically like a private seed phrase, private keys, however you want to call it. And when you make the account, they give you like 12 to 24 words, depending on what you're doing with it. And those words are key. Those are your keys. And when you have it in exchanges, guys, they have your keys. Kind of like the banks. The banks own your money, but when you have the cash now, you own it. You own the dollar, right? You have it in your hands. Same thing in this space. But you got to remember that just because you want to be more secure, you want to be out of the exchange, now it's up in your hands. So that's why this information is so key. And we're going to break some things down that y'all can do to stay safe with having the seed phrases, where to save them, where to write them down, stuff like that. So I'll give it back to Alex so he can talk about the hot wallets, bro. Appreciate you. The cold wallets.
Yo, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. Man, drop some threes in the chat if you guys are getting some value right now, right? We're getting some value right now. Let me know in the chat if you guys are getting some value. Drop some threes in the chat. This is some things that we're providing with you guys. We're providing to you all because of the information that we've received by us getting into crypto. I was that individual who got into crypto around that same time, around 2021, but I did not get into Ethereum like that. I was simply just a spectator. I was just watching it and I was like, that's crazy. Like, it's really going up. And then it dropped. But I was that individual that Gil mentioned, that when he got a stimulus check, I took care of my debt. Why? Because I had a child. I had to do something about what it was that I need to do, which was get me forward. And then that's why I got into the world of like trading and investing going into end of 2021, 2022, which was important because Those who got in 2022 were starting to experience their first bear market, and it's important to get in when you're in a bear market versus a bull market, because you start to experience that euphoria. You start to get in and start to realize, oh, I can take advantage of this. I can go forward so much more. And then all of a sudden, when the euphoria stops and the market actually drops, that's when you start to get stuck. That's when you start to say it doesn't work. That's when people start to say it's a scam. That's why you see actors and politicians who got into this space and they bought Bitcoin at 67,000 in 2021, and then all of a sudden the market drops. That's why they started to what? Go against crypto and say this is something that we shouldn't have. It's not something that we should do. It's because they just simply lacked education. And with what it is that we got going on here in this space is all education. So he broke down some hot wallets. Now, again, we're giving you some things that people sometimes do not talk about. And so we want to be able to give you guys a little bit more insight as to what the hot wallets are and the cold wallets. And you need to understand that a cold wallet, right, is simply misunderstood, right? They sometimes think of it as a hot wallet, but let's just say that your cold wallet is really your savings account. Let's just be real. You also have a seed phrase. You have something that you can save, but this is something that basically goes offline. This allows you to, when you start to experience, large gains in your crypto portfolio, you can then start to transfer and save. One of our, incredible educators, who's the number 5th crypto educator in the world, he mentions this, that like when you start to see, respectfully, we're not talking income claims here, but when you start to see 5 figures in your crypto portfolio, is it really a smart thing to have it on a centralized platform or even a hot wallet? A hot wallet? No. You need to start transferring those assets over to a cold storage wallet and start to understand what is it that you're looking for. One second, guys. So once you guys are able to do that, right? My apologies. We already muted it, and we'll make sure we get it going again. But making sure that you understand that a true cold wallet, right, goes simply beyond understanding that your keys are offline, right? It also it gives you you just got to understand that it's not participating with any contracts. It's everything that you need to know. And again, we could talk a lot more about it, but we're just giving you a quick little insight because everything that we're researching requires you to do research as well. This is the issue that happens a lot of times. You see someone like Steph Curry, who was promoting FTX back in 2021, 2022, and everyone decided to start purchasing crypto in FTX. Or maybe an individual like Tom Brady. I'm giving you celebrities and people who were major in this space who were promoting these things, these assets or these exchanges for people to actually get on and say it's a perfect exchange to get on. And then when they go bankrupt and they actually were not actually giving people real Bitcoin, but wrapped Bitcoin, what were they doing with all their money? You just got scammed. And this is why we prepare people, so to make sure that you guys have the education. So KeepKey is best for cold wallets for beginners, right? You guys can definitely start to do your research on KeepKey. This is one that we found and we're like, whoa, this is a new one that we have not really understood yet. We're more so on the on the ledger side. So we've purchased a ledger before where we've transferred our crypto. We've understood what the assets can do for us when we transfer over to ledger. And people can have it whether it's online, it's Bluetooth or it's not. And we'll talk more about what not to do later. SafePal is best hybrid crypto wallet. It goes in between. It can go between a hot wallet and a cold wallet. Exodus, right, is best for desktops. It is considered to be a hot/cold wallet. It is technically a hybrid because if you only keep it on your desktop, you're going to be secure because you have your 12 key seed phrase. If somebody were to take your laptop, because you have your 12 keys, you simply can go in through a new laptop, download Exodus. You can simply just put in that 12 key phrase and you will receive your crypto right back just like that. A lot of times though, if somebody took your Coinbase and your Coinbase is up on your dashboard or on your phone, majority of the time, if something happens and they steal it and you didn't have a password, they can take your crypto like that. All they have to do is simply send, unless this is something that is happening right now, is if people do have maybe a 2-step authenticator. That is becoming very big within the world of crypto because people need to realize that sometimes people are scamming people. Sometimes people are getting a hold of their crypto. But if you have a 2-step authenticator, maybe geared towards your device or maybe towards your desktop or whatever that may be, it can even send you an email. Sometimes you can definitely benefit that. And of course, a Trezor wallet, that's something that I'm not really big on. I've heard a lot of people really, dive deep into the Trezor side. But that's something that is another, cold storage wallet, really secure, and allows people to, again, transfer their funds from a centralized platform onto that. Now, this last little thing that I'm gonna get into before I pass it over to my business partner, Gil, is understanding security, right? We need to make sure that you yourself are preparing yourself for not only just what you're doing transactional wise when you're buying and purchasing assets, but also what is it that you're doing in terms of your whole security for you. So you see, myself, I do have a Gmail account, right? I have a Gmail account that's geared towards my dancer account, but I also have one that is a Gmail account that's connected to my business account that I have, but it's also connected to Proton Mail. And Proton Mail is a highly secured network from Switzerland that allows you to have not only a VPN number, but allows you, right, to have, it has zero access for encryption, right? Ensures that you can see your emails. And not only that, right? Proton can view the contents of your emails and attachments. It doesn't give you any spam. You're not gonna have any like warnings or anything like that. It's if anything, it's gonna warn you when there's something that's fishy going on in your account, which is super important, right? We understand that Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, they scan your content and most of the time they're profiting off of it, which is why you have all of those ads, you have all of those, people coming in and trying to sell you on something or trying to have you click their link, because all it takes is one link for you to click and you can literally lose majority of your assets. You can literally have someone go into your bank account and steal something. So it's super important for you when it comes to your security to dive deep into Proton Mail. And they provide it literally for free. If you want to get the more pro version, of course you can pay for it. It's a $4.99, or if I'm not mistaken, $9.99 subscription based. But here in this space, you can actually get one for free. It has a lot of privacy. It's super secure. I use this on a daily basis. Everything goes through my Proton Mail, and it allows you to also have a schedule, a book appointments, do so much more that you don't even realize, even for your bank account statements as well. So this is super important for you to understand. You guys, drop a 5 in the chat if you are committed to getting a Proton Mail so that you can make sure that your assets, everything that you got going on for your home personal life is going to be secure. Drop a 5 in the chat if you guys are good with that, right? I'll drop a 5 myself, because again, we got to make sure that we are ready to go for this crypto run, because we're still at the beginning. Let me tell you this right now, fam. You guys are still at the beginning, but I will also say this. You were at the beginning of this crypto run, but you were also at the end of a crypto run that can also benefit you and your family. Because unfortunately, when we go into the next one in 2028, it'll be too late for people to get into assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, unfortunately. Imagine seeing Ethereum right now at around 3,000-4,000. And after this halving, all-time highs will break. ETFs are looking to be approved with BlackRock. If you guys don't know BlackRock, write that down. And when that takes place, we can definitely see Bitcoin, Ethereum going to what? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 potentially. And what happens when that happens during the next halving? You've then missed the full run of what this can do for you. And now you're really in a position that's not going to be able to help you. So we definitely want to get deeper into all these things, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my business partner so he can talk to you about physical security a little bit, give a little more insight as to what you can do once you start to purchase your Ledger, your Exodus or whatnot, and so that you guys can get to where you need to go.
100%, 100%. Sheesh. I really think these calls, we're just getting started, but I really think these calls are very, very valuable, guys. I hope you guys are taking notes, really taking the information we're talking about. And yeah, like Alex was saying, right? These hot wallets are amazing places, kind of like using it like a savings account, with understanding like, hey, you have to go through exchanges, which is fine. But at the same time, being able to say, all right, these assets I'm holding longer term, I'm transferring them, doing their thing, but also understanding the security side of this, because like I talked about, earlier, is an aspect with these secret phrase words that you have is really taking care of that like gold, right? And there's a couple things that you guys can use to really write them down, take care of them, and use it. And number one is a stone book, guys. A stone book is something that you can buy. Maybe just stone book, Google it. It's a waterproof, fireproof. It's a little book that you can write and use, and it actually comes with a pin, or you can buy a pin on the side that's actually like literally you can't see it other than having the little light. It's like certain color light or something, but at the same time, it's what it's used, guys, that you can use to secure your secret phase words, right? There's like 12 to 24. I think with Ledger, I think it's around 24. Some of them might be less with the hot wallets. But it's understanding that when you keep that secure, then no matter where things are going, no matter if you even lose the ledger, right? No matter if you lose, you get your laptop stolen. It doesn't really matter. You have that secret phase words, and you have the ownership of that. So once you know that and you know how to take care of that, that's very, very key. Now, also, what you can do is get something called a fireproof bag, because where you want to put this in, right? Just in case if anything happens, it's kind of like taking care of cash, but in a smaller way. Because if you have, let's just give an example. Let's put in existence $1 million in cash, right? But you have $1 million in crypto. Well, $1 million in cash is way harder to take care of than $1 million in crypto, which can be literally like the sell book, right? And the ledger, key. And that's really it, right? So what you can use is a fireproof bag to take care of that, just in case things happen, without the stuff. But at the same time, is understanding that this keeps you secure. And again, these are things that people don't even have an idea that are existed or even understanding. Some people, I can guarantee, buy a ledger because they heard it on YouTube or whatever, and then they use it and they literally didn't even note down the secret phrase words. I promise you that has happened. And people can even lose their crypto. So imagine how much crypto is even being lost that people might want to get access to but can't get it because they lost it. So we want to make sure that you're not one of those. And you're equipped for everything like that, guys. All right, put a 5 or 3 in the chat if that makes sense. Okay, when it comes to physical security, stone book, fireproof bag, and also understanding that the Ledger Nano is actually like a physical thing that you can actually buy. I actually have the box here, right? It's a physical wallet here. All it is, guys, is just a key. This is not where the crypto is stored. Too many people think the crypto is stored here. No, it's actually on a cold wallet, right? It's in the ecosystem at the end of the day, but they have an app that you download. But this is just a key. It's like opening your house, right? This is the key to it. If you lose this, it's okay. You buy a new one and you just have to keep the secret phrase words that they give you when you open the account online. And that's what you use. And also note this down. You should only buy this on ledger.com. Do not buy this on Amazon, Best Buy, any of these places, because it can be altered. It can be kind of played with, and you don't want to take the risk. So get it at ledger.com, specifically from the main source, but you can obviously do your research on that. But that's very, very key to understand. Now, what we want to do as well is help you guys know on what not to do. Because we talked about a lot of what to do, but you also want to be aware of what not to do in this space to not see as much of a down run as most people do, right? And number one is really be careful with websites, right? Be very, very careful with websites when it comes to, buying crypto or this or that, or, hey, you got an email say, hey, this NFT is out, right? Be very, very careful with the websites that you're clicking. Very simple for me. This is what I use to keep it simple. Anything I don't know, I don't click, right? If I'm not waiting for something to come in, if I'm not waiting for an email, and I'm waiting for this, I don't click it. If somebody tells me about a website, I've never heard of it, I don't really go to it until I do some research on it first. That's very, very key. Now, number two, and you said it earlier, is do not keep all of your crypto in exchanges. Because we understand that there'll be times that you might have to keep some in there. But when it comes down to all of it, now you're really playing the ball, right? It's kind of the same thing, guys. You got to think about it like this. It's the same thing in the traditional world. Your cash, they highly, highly encourage you shouldn't have just one bank account. You shouldn't just have your cash at one place. You shouldn't just have everything at one time in just one, because I imagine if that one thing that happens to it is all gone. Right? You want to diversify yourself. And the same thing in this place. You can use Ledger for your, majority of your capital that you're holding long term. Then you can use Exodus for more of like, okay, a little bit more access to it. And then you can even use a centralized exchange if you want for a small amount. If you're like, okay, this is what I need. I'm going in USDC. I'm switching to here, right? So it's all about diversification. But you got to understand that if it's on centralized exchanges, you don't have access to it. And at any time, they can go down. Like, I highly encourage, my opinion is the one centralized exchange that I never use and I will never recommend to use is Coinbase. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Coinbase is the one that's the most manipulated one. Is it going to go gone? I don't think so, because it's actually, the ownership of that is very connected with the government. But put a 4 in the chat if you've seen Coinbase go down 4 times in the last month. Because it's been down 4 times in the last month. And you might check your account and it went to 0 and you're like, what's going on here? Like, what's going on? I know people were like, Gil, Alex, what did we do? What did we do? So I highly recommend, there's not a perfect exchange. There's no such thing. It's like saying there's a perfect bank that doesn't exist. But I recommend things like crypto.com, Kraken. Even it's crazy because even the CEO of Kraken, which is an exchange, he actually even says, do not keep your crypto in exchanges, because he's actually in crypto. It's not like the CEO of Coinbase that's not even caring about crypto. They're just in it to make the money. They're in it to make the bag. They're in the traditional way. They're there for the stock to go up. While Kraken is a little bit more like on crypto and understanding it, but still, I wouldn't keep all of your crypto there. So I want to give you guys that because, again, those are things that people don't talk about. People don't really understand. So if you're on Coinbase.com right now, I just highly advise, in my opinion, you don't have to do it. Do your own research. but I 100% believe that you guys should kind of find us something else, because that one is the first one to go down. When things are going down is the first one to go off. When things are going up is the first one to go off, because the control is really high there, right? Now, number 3 is that this is key. YouTube University doesn't mean they're credible, guys. I want you guys to be very, very, very careful, okay? Because you guys are going to start to see a lot of new YouTubers or YouTubers who were doing YouTube on crypto come back when things are only bullish, not when they were bearish. And when I want you guys to be careful, because you got to realize on YouTube, anybody can make a channel and get subscribers. It doesn't take much. You can actually even market it, you can advertise it, and you can get subscribers. There's no requirements. There's no backend. Nobody checks you on YouTube, guys, or Google. I'm not saying you can't learn things. Of course you can. But I want you guys to take things that you guys learn on YouTube with a grain of salt. I don't know if you guys heard that before, but like with a grain of salt, like a little bit of it, and then do your own research, right? But one thing I want to help you guys also do, and the reason why even Alex and I are doing this, obviously for the students in Digital Dynasty to get information and understand the things that maybe can help you guys more on top of the information that we already have access to. But also, you might be on this and you might be new. You might be a guest. You might be invited on today's call. And if you were invited to today's call, I would highly encourage to go back to the person and say, bro, thank you so much. Sis, thank you so much. Because guys, they didn't have to, okay? This is something we want to do for the squad, for the team, but we wanted to give you guys access as well, so y'all start to understand where the value's really at, guys, because Digital Dynasty is really going to be a space, you know, that a lot of people are going to be seeing growth. And it's not just because we know what we're doing and just because we're the know-it-alls. No, because realistically, we're just a group of digital entrepreneurs providing tools, resources that can help people through the financial education and digital skill sets, guys. And our main focus, okay, our main focus is really to help create hundreds of success stories, guys, hundreds and thousands. And why or how are we able to do that, guys? Basically, we partner with the #1 educational platform in the world that teaches this information, guys. It's crazy because like literally 99% of the information that Alex and I broke down, we actually gained from the educational platform that we actually have access to. And it's very simple how it works. #1 is basic education. #2 is go live mentorship, having access to live access information. #3 is apps and services. And before I pass it to Alex to close it out, you know, put some 7s in the chat if you guys got some value. Okay, put 7s in the chat if y'all got some value. Because what I want to do real quick, okay, not just for the students, I mean, not just for the guests, guys. I want to do this for the students as well. I want to give you guys a next 2. Okay, I want to give you guys some homework, guys. Put homework in the chat if y'all think homework would be pretty useful from now till next Saturday, okay? Because what I want to give you guys, and if you're a guest on today's here, then you get a little bit insight of what our community looks like. But this is very simple on how our Go Live platform looks like, okay? So for the individuals who are on today's call that are a part of Digital Dynasty, I highly recommend to go to Stocks and Crypto, right? Go Live. Guys, really making sure, #1, you're making sure very highly is that you're going through certain videos, okay? #1 is crypto security, guys. A lot of things that we talked about are on here, but it can even be more into it. Guys, this call was maybe 30, 40 minutes long, right? So this is like a whole hour of this information that a lot of things that you guys learn here can get from here. But then #2 is going through boot camps like the DeFi Summer Bootcamp, right? So if you're a student on today's call that are already in Digital Dynasty and you're like, oh my God, how can you do crypto? Guys, go through these boot camps. This is the time to go to the DeFi Summer Bootcamp. This is the time to go to Tokenomics 101. This is the time to go through these videos and lock in. Because I remember me, my other business partner, Jean-Luc, who's actually my roommate. Guys, in the 2021, 2022 run, guys, we were sleeping at 2 a.m. We were in it to win it. Like, we were literally so focused. And guys, this is the season we're in. It's locking in. It's not just about seeing the gains. It's about getting that education, because education lasts more than just income. And that's very, very important to understand, guys. And if you're a guest on today's call, guys, you know, this is the information that we're getting from, guys. There's hundreds and thousands of people learning or have learned from this platform. And there's over 100 different educators in 15 languages. It's not just crypto, but our focus on these Saturday calls is crypto. So with saying that, guys, I'm actually going to pass it back to my boy, Alex, guys. I appreciate, you know, you guys being on today's call, paying attention to me. You know, my IG is Guild Creative. You want to, you know, reach out to me, whatever it is. But I'm very, very excited for what's to come, guys. This is just the start. You know, our goal is to equip individuals in the space to get to that next level and maybe talk about some things more in depth sometimes, because we understand that educators have a schedule, they have things they have to do, and we get a lot of information. But calls like this is where we can really get very, very in depth and give you guys the tools that you guys need to take that to the next level, guys. So I appreciate you guys listening to me, taking notes of me, but I'm gonna give it back to Alex so he can close out the call, bro. I appreciate you for having me on this call, and I'm excited for what we can do, bro. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you so much. Everyone drop some fives in the chat, right? For Gil. Again, this is some value right here that we're giving you guys, right? This is some knowledge that you're not getting in college. I'm just sorry, right? They're trying to learn, they're going into these platforms, they're learning these things, and then they're trying to bring it back to the schools. Because we realize the power of crypto education. We realize what it can do for people, and a lot of people are unaware. And unfortunately, more and more people will become unaware unless they start to take their steps forward with this space. And so we got a lot of great things coming for you guys, right? We're going to be talking about things within this series on Saturdays on things that you guys probably do not know, right? I'm pretty sure you know that you've heard about inflation, but you don't really know what inflation is. You've heard about ETFs, but you don't know what ETFs actually are. You've heard about interest rates, but you don't know these things. And here we are, we're here to provide you guys with some I would say like economy education, if I would say, right? Like economics on what it is that you can actually understand so that you can apply it to the tokenomics that are actually taking place within crypto. And so you need to make sure that you are really gearing yourself up for what it is that we got going on in this space. For any individual who is new and would like to take advantage of this space, right? For individuals who are like, hey, how can I get started? How can I really lock in? Of course, right? Everything is subscription based. We understand that, right? It's $5 a day. Really, if you think about it, it's literally a coffee if you really, really want to plug in with what it is that we got going on in this space. But here, right, we have what's called an empowered package that literally gives people the bread, the butter, and everything included so that you can really have what? Empowerment. You yourself can really take advantage of what's going on in this space. And that right there is for you. If you want to learn more about other skill sets that we have within Digital Dynasty that are partnered up with this incredible platform, you yourself can take advantage of that, whether that be foreign exchange, stocks and crypto, as we mentioned, right? Diving deep with Mr. Ace Enders, who's a stock, who's really informed with when it comes to the stock market, e-commerce, if you're looking to build something online and have like an online business. Of course, we have our travel experiences, social media, building a brand online for yourself. And of course, those who are a little bit more experienced, utilizing the market tools for not only yourself when you can build a portfolio, but for those who are also looking to, participate in the financial markets. So for any individual who would like to be a part of, this incredible community that we got going on, it is $274 to get started, $249. The best thing that I can say is excuses can't cash checks. And so you yourself, if you really want to be able to plug in and be a part of our community and you want to know more about these things, you got to play in order to be a part of the system. And that's just what it is. That's how we're here to really make things happen and take ourselves to that next level. And literally, it is the best decision that I ever made now 3.5 years later and now being a full-time participant. So for any individual that is wanting to lock in with us, that is something that we offer. I would say that you get back to the individual that you were with, talk to them, let's connect, let's definitely build those relationships. But I'm looking forward to being on this crypto series every single Saturday. We're going to be providing you guys with so much value that you guys have no idea. You guys don't know what you're in store for yet. Just caught my shield folio. Thank you. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so we definitely need to do it. Look at me. I have literally both of these ready to go. Yeah, I was able to transfer some of my things. So I did that this morning. And it's all because I had access to information, right? And it's knowing that whenever you have access to information, you yourself can set yourself up on the right side of this world that we got going on that's trying to get us to the top. All right. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys. God bless. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Saturday for everyone who wants to get value. You guys
Welcome
have a good
to
night.
The start of a brilliant future. Ready to turn it on? Here's your power source. It's called the digital currency market. That's right, cryptocurrency, a truly global form of payment that people everywhere are starting to use for everyday purchases. You've heard of Bitcoin. This currency happens to be the highest performing asset class of the decade, trading in a market that's open 24/7, 365 worldwide. It's one of the fastest growing, most disruptive industries on the planet. Here's how you plug into that power source. It's called DCX. Home of master educators and expert mentors, where you'll find the strategies needed to master the markets and learn how to take profit. We've put the digital currency market at your fingertips. With DCX, you'll have full access to real-time market ideas, educational videos, live session with mentors, and powerful strategies from industry masters. You learn from the best at your own pace. Want new market ideas sent straight to your phone? Done. Want automated algorithms scanning the market for potential setups? we've got you covered. These strategies can help you never miss an opportunity to grow your account. So which engine are you going to power up first? DCX Harmonics is an exclusive dive into the secrets of harmonic patterns in the digital currency market. Our expert strategies will help you identify potential reversals in the market, giving you powerful insight and analysis for opportunities to earn. DCX Swipecoin gives you the best of both worlds, with swing market ideas from our master educators and automated scalping strategies that teach you to identify potential breakouts in the market in lower time frames. Now imagine all that in real-time updates through direct chats with expert DCX master educators. You could even fire up one of the brand new crypto games in Swipecoin. Want more? DCX is switching on exclusive access to the new DCX Go Live educator, Jason Brown, a Chairman 750 of the I Am Master Academy. He's here to teach the awesome power of crypto like no one else can. What are you waiting for? This could be your future. Grab it. With DCX, the power to learn and earn cryptocurrency can be in your hands. The possibilities are limited only to your imagination. Tell me, what do you want your future to be?